Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a young man named Rohan. He was well known, but not for good reasons. He was famous for his laziness and his habit of wasting time. No matter how much his family and friends advised him to value time, Rohan simply couldn't see its importance. Every task was put off, and he'd always say, "There's time. I'll do it later." One sunny day, news spread through the village of the arrival of a wise old man named Mr. Gupta. Known for his wisdom and problem-solving skills, villagers gathered around to seek his guidance. Rohan, intrigued, decided to meet him as well, hoping to find some direction. When Rohan found Mr. Gupta, the old man was seated under a large banyan tree, quietly observing the people around him. Rohan approached respectfully and said, "I've heard of your wisdom, sir. Could you guide me on how to make the most of my life?" Mr. Gupta looked at Rohan and smiled knowingly. Without saying a word, he reached into his bag and took out an hourglass. He handed it to Rohan and said, "This hourglass represents your life. Each grain of sand is a moment of time. Once a grain falls, it's gone forever. Imagine every grain is a chance, an opportunity. Every time you procrastinate, a grain slips away, never to return." Rohan stared at the hourglass, watching the sand fall slowly but steadily, realizing the weight of Mr. Gupta's words. "So, I've wasted a lot of moments," he murmured. Mr. Gupta nodded. "Yes, time is precious, Rohan. Each second that passes is a second you can never get back. If you continue to waste time, you will wake up one day filled with regret." Feeling an urgency he'd never known, Rohan asked, "But how can I change? I don't know where to start." Mr. Gupta smiled warmly. "Start small. Set goals, prioritize your tasks, and break them down into manageable parts. Focus on each task one by one. Time management isn't difficult. It just takes discipline. Remember, success comes to those who understand the value of time." Taking Mr. Gupta's words to heart, Rohan returned home, determined to change his ways. He started by organizing his daily routine, assigning time slots for each task. Slowly, he removed distractions, focusing fully on the work before him. Day by day, Rohan's efforts showed results. He began achieving things he had put off for years. He pursued his interests and even discovered hidden talents. People in the village were amazed at Rohan's transformation. The once lazy young man was now the model of dedication and discipline. Rohan didn't just focus on work, he realized the importance of spending time with loved ones, cherishing each moment with his family and friends. As the years passed, Rohan grew older, and the village celebrated his accomplishments and the wisdom he had gained. Whenever young villagers asked him for advice, he shared his journey, encouraging them to treasure each moment and make the most of their lives. Rohan's story spread far and wide, inspiring many to reevaluate how they spent their time. People began to understand that time wasn't just something that slipped by. It was a gift, a treasure to be cherished. Under the guidance of Mr. Gupta and inspired by Rohan's transformation, the village prospered. Every villager learned that time is not merely a measure, but a force that shapes destinies.